Good afternoon. My name is GK Ananthasuresh. I serve as the Dean of Mechanical Sciences here at the Indian Institute of Science. Firstly, I greet the Hon'ble Minister Dr Jitendra Singh, Minister of State for Science and Technology. He could not be here in person, but he has sent a video message, and we will hear that a little later. Next, I warmly welcome Professor Ajay Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, and Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, Deputy National Security Advisor, and our Director, Prof G Rangarajan, and Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Chair and Managing Director of Biocon, and Shri S Raghuram, who is Joint Secretary, Policy Planning and Research, Minister of External Affairs, Government of India. I request all the dignitaries to come onto the stage. Professor Ajay Sood, Professor Rangarajan, Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, and Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. I also welcome the ambassadors and distinguished guests from various countries, senior government officials from the state and central governments in India, and academicians, researchers and administrators from government labs in India and abroad, industry experts, members of civil societies, and all the other guests, all of you who are gathered today. I welcome you all to the Technology Dialogue. The Indian Institute of Science is pleased to host this event. The Technology Dialogue intends to explore the new frontiers in technology diplomacy. Since the dawn of civilization, as we all know, technological advances have helped us fulfill our aspirations for food, shelter, health, communications, transportation, arts, comfort, defense, and more. Modern technology has transformed the world and is transforming as we speak, and the society is transformed continuously beyond anybody's imagination. We, the human beings, are driving the technology. Technology, in turn, is driving us. It's a bilateral relationship. Today, technology is the prime factor in forging global partnerships. So, in this event, the Technology Dialogue is a unique platform to explore deeper collaboration with India's thriving science, engineering, and technology ecosystem. 5 critical and emerging technological themes are identified, and they will be discussed in this forum today and tomorrow. The themes are quantum advances, artificial intelligence, semiconductor value chain, space technologies, and bioeconomy. And I'm happy to note that IISc has ongoing research in all of these areas. In this inaugural session, we have 5 distinguished speakers to comment on India's international technology engagement framework. Firstly, I call upon our director, Prof G Rangarajan, to make his inaugural remarks. Thank you.
On behalf of the Indian Institute of Science, let me welcome all of you. First, let me welcome the dignitaries on the stage, Professor Ajay Sood, PSA, Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, Deputy NSA, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, and Raghuram, and other dignitaries who are off the stage, and all the delegates. So this is, I think, a new beginning. I think the first time we are having this technology dialogues here. I think it's a very important day for us, and this is being done in partnership with the Ministry of External Affairs and the Office of the PSA. We hope this will become a recurring theme as we go forward, and we hold it periodically here. Because as Suresh pointed out, it's very important to have this dialogue between different countries, and all the themes that have been selected are very relevant today and maybe transformational for the entire globe. So we hear, of course, a lot of hype about AI these days, how it will transform the entire world, but others are also equally important. Even though they may not have the hype that AI has, whether it is bioeconomy or semiconductors or quantum technologies and so on. And of course, space technology. So it's important that we exchange views on how we can collaborate. And even on AI, for example, there's a lot of talk these days of establishing guardrails to prevent AI from taking a role which is not favorable to the humanity. So for these, again, even for such things, we need a global dialogue where different countries are on the same page. And I think India can share its expertise. I think we have in all these areas, not, as Suresh mentioned, we have expertise in IISc, but we have expertise across the country. And we'll be happy to engage with all the partners. I hope all the delegates will have a very fruitful period here, and we hope that we come to a conclusion which is very amenable to all of us, very which can be with some action points which can then be taken forward by the respective governments. With these few words, let me thank all of you again for taking part. And let me thank the dignitaries also for taking part. Yeah, so now it is Raghuram. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rangarajan. Now I call upon Shri S Raghuram, Joint Secretary, Planning and Research.
Good afternoon, everybody. Namaskara. Honorable Principal Scientific Advisor, Professor Sood, Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, Deputy NSA, Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Dr Rangarajan, distinguished ambassadors, consul generals, other diplomats from Delhi and Bengaluru, other distinguished scholars, scientists, my colleagues and friends. It's an honor and pleasure to be here for the inaugural edition of the Technology Dialogue. It's a very unique collaboration bringing the Ministry of External Affairs, the Office of PSA and the IISc Bengaluru. A key component of our mandate at Policy Planning and Research Division is to take the conversations on foreign policy issues, our foreign policy outreach initiatives, which we generally call as Track 1.5, Track 2, outside Delhi's ecosystem. So this is an effort in that direction. We engage a number of think tanks, academic institutions, and I am very happy that this particular technology dialogue, the inaugural one, we are doing it in Bengaluru, which is the technology and innovation ecosystem hub in India, and also at IISc, which is our preeminent R&D institution. As you are all keenly aware, technology domain per se has emerged as a new arena for global strategic competition and contestation. From security to sustainable development, it is evident that technology is an integral part of cooperation, collaboration, and contestation among various state and non-state actors. It is therefore very topical and contemporaneous that we are holding this dialogue today here. Over the course of 2 days, this dialogue will focus on our strategic partnerships on a number of issues, including critical and emerging technologies, national and international developments in AI, space, quantum, biotechnology sectors, and the avenues for further strengthening our collaborations. I am very happy to see such very senior level and wide level participation at this dialogue from various departments in Government of India itself, as well as from the private sector, industry, diplomatic community, and scholars. I look forward to hearing your views from the distinguished speakers and panelists, and some key actionable ideas emerging from that. Hopefully that will give us enough material to carry forward this initiative every year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Raghuram. Now I request Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw to give her special address.
Namaskara, everyone. Let me start by saying how delighted I am to speak with all of you today at this inaugural session of Dialogue 2025 in the august presence of course, our Director of IISc, Shri Rangarajan, our Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, Deputy NSA, Shri Raghuram, Joint Secretary at the Ministry of External Affairs, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I think the theme of International Technology Engagement Framework for India is a very, very relevant and timely dialogue to have. And this dialogue arrives at a crucial juncture when technology has evolved from being a mere catalyst for progress to a fundamental element of geopolitical and geoeconomic influence. In the past, nations vied for supremacy based on their defense capabilities or their military might. Today, the competition revolves around technological leadership. The United States, with its prominent tech giants, has historically maintained a dominant position in science and technology. But meanwhile, China is swiftly advancing through strategic investments in critical and emerging technologies. And this dynamic has established a scenario where technological expertise serves as both an instrument of geopolitical power and also a driver of economic growth. In the future, nations with robust technological capabilities will wield significant global influence, and those that don't, I'm afraid, are likely to be left behind. So, when it comes to India, I think this is our moment of technology diplomacy. India is poised at the forefront of this transformative era. Our strides in IT, biotechnology, space exploration, and more are not only propelling our domestic growth, but also positioning us to play a vital role in shaping the global technology landscape. We have already showcased our ability to harness technology for large population scale transformation. The Digital Public Infrastructure or DPI and the Unified Payments Interface or UPI exemplify this success. Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric ID initiative, has registered over 94% of India's population. With Aadhaar, India has leapfrogged the identification systems of more developed nations. And as a result, over 1.4 billion Indians now possess what Paul Romer, a Nobel laureate and former World Bank chief economist, has termed the most sophisticated ID program in the world. The UPI has revolutionized digital payments, enabling instant round-the-clock interbank transfers using just a phone number or a UPI ID. From processing 0.8 billion transactions in January 2018 to over 16.6 billion in October 2024, UPI now accounts for nearly 80% of India's digital payments and has brought over 300 million individuals into the formal financial system. This is no small achievement. The Ayushman Bharat digital mission also has significantly transformed our digital healthcare landscape. To date, over 670 million Ayushman Bharat health accounts or ABHA have been created with more than 420 million health records linked to ABHA. Additionally, 130,000 health facilities, including over 17,000 private providers, are now part of the Ayushman Bharat digital mission. When it comes to digital and AI, India produces, as we often know, the largest STEM workforce globally, adding over 2 million STEM graduates annually. With more than 5 million programmers, we are emerging as a leading reservoir of AI talent, a critical need in a world facing a global AI talent shortage. A very strong factor for technology diplomacy for sure. We are becoming leaders in developing solutions that leverage AI, blockchain, and quantum computing to address global challenges. When we speak of biotechnology, India's potential as a cost-effective, cost-competitive innovator and manufacturer of advanced therapeutics, particularly in cell and gene therapies and genomics, positions us as a hub for biopharma innovation. Our large, diverse population and AI-driven digital technologies enable us to develop population-scale biomarkers, genomics, and microbiomes, driving breakthrough precision and personalized medicine. We all know that India has reaffirmed its status in space technology as a leading spacefaring nation, with ISRO making significant strides in satellite launches, reusable technologies, and advancements towards human space exploration. With technological progress, international collaborations, and ambitious goals, the nation is set for a transformative decade in space technology and space exploration. We're also very excited about the startup ecosystem in our country. The rapid expansion of our vibrant startup ecosystem, featuring over 110 unicorns and approximately 130,000 startups, further underscores India's role as a hub for innovation. Startups in fintech, health tech, agri-tech, robotics, and clean energy are utilizing disruptive technologies such as AI, blockchain, and advanced manufacturing to tackle real-world problems. Importantly, these innovations are not solely for India. They represent scalable solutions for the global community. Now coming to a framework for global engagement. India is already engaged in frameworks like the US-India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, or ISET, and the India-European Union Trade and Technology Council, or the TTC. Through ISET, India and the US are strengthening their strategic partnership while laying the groundwork for future technological innovation and development. The TTC underscores the commitment of both India and the European Union to enhance cooperation in research and innovation across health research, digital technologies, green technologies, and polar sciences, while also fostering innovation partnerships through startup connections. India's approach to technology engagement is anchored in collaboration, inclusivity, and leadership. We aim not only to leverage technology for economic and social progress domestically, but also to play a meaningful role in shaping global norms, frameworks, and innovation. In developing an international technology engagement framework, I would like to propose 3 guiding pillars. One is building collaborative ecosystems. Initiatives like ISET and TTC provide templates for creating multi-stakeholder collaborations focused on critical areas such as quantum computing, semiconductor development, and AI. And as we know, this is the time of convergence, of technology convergence, and this becomes extremely relevant in approaching it in this form. The second pillar is about promoting open innovation. To drive global progress, we must champion open innovation, a model where knowledge, resources, and technology are shared to address common challenges. India's leadership in open source digital platforms such as UPI, DPI, ONDP can serve as a model for other nations seeking to democratize technology access and foster innovation. The third pillar is about shaping ethical and inclusive technology norms. As technology evolves, as you just heard, ethical considerations and inclusivity must remain central to our efforts. India should actively engage in shaping global norms around the responsible use of technologies like AI, gene editing, and cybersecurity. Our demographic dividend uniquely positions us to advocate for frameworks that are inclusive, equitable, and human-centric. Technology must also play a transformative role in addressing pressing global challenges, including climate change, food security, and healthcare access. India's leadership in renewable energy and climate action, particularly through initiatives like the International Solar Alliance, illustrates our commitment to harnessing technology for scalable and sustainable solutions. In healthcare, India's biopharmaceutical and medtech sectors have demonstrated how innovation can meet unmet needs through affordable access. Generics and biosimilars and vaccines from India are enabling millions worldwide to access life-saving therapies. India's approach to international engagement in technology sectors is driven by aspirations for autonomy and strategic cooperation. The country seeks to leverage opportunities for self-sufficiency while actively contributing to its role on the global stage in critical and emerging technologies. And as we look to the future, we must prioritize increased investment in R&D to foster high-value research and elevate India's knowledge-intensive industries, investment in education and skill development to prepare our workforce for jobs of tomorrow, and strengthening public-private partnerships to accelerate innovation. India's journey is not solely about technological advancement, but it is about utilizing that progress to create a more equitable and sustainable world. The international technology engagement framework we discussed today must embody this vision, a vision where technology serves as a bridge, not a barrier, a force for collaboration, not competition. In closing, I want to emphasize that we are living in one of the most exhilarating times in history. The convergence of science and technology presents us with unparalleled opportunities to shape a better future for all. As we gather here today, let us commit to leveraging our collective expertise and vision to build a global technology ecosystem that is innovative, inclusive, and most of all, impactful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mazumdar-Shaw, for sharing your insights. Now I request Prof Ajay Sood to make his special address.
Good afternoon to all of you. It's a very pleasant thing for me to be here. First of all, homecoming, always good to be in IISc. And second, for this very important international technology engagement framework, which is happening now from till tomorrow. So glad to join all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, secretaries and officials of the government, excellencies and diplomats from partner countries, colleagues from industry, academia and think tanks, as well as the media friends. So the office of PSA is absolutely pleased to partner with MEA and IISc in hosting this very important summit, Technology Dialogue 2025. As the theme indicates and as was said a few minutes back, this platform provides us all an avenue to explore new opportunities in technology diplomacy efforts. I cannot help but recall that in 2023, the Office of PSA, in partnership with IISc, organized a Science Technology Policy Summit called Dialogue 2023. It was not held in IISc, it was held in some artificial location, namely in a hotel, where thought leaders from the government, industry, academia, and think tanks deliberated on some of the key policy dimensions of science, technology, and international engagements. And these included ethics of disruptive technologies, global technology competitiveness, science, technology, and society, and public perception of science. The summit, in our view, and as we got the feedback from the people who attended and who saw the deliberations, was a great success in terms of the diversity of themes, speakers and participants, as well as the key takeaways. From this edition of Dialogue, we are happy to partner with MEA with an expanded scope, both in terms of thematic areas covered and the speakers involved. So we see technology becoming a potent force in driving India's international partnership, and this summit has now expanded its horizon to explore new frontiers in technology diplomacy. As was mentioned again a few minutes back, technology plays a critical role more than ever before in shaping international relationships by influencing policy frameworks, driving economic growth, and bolstering national security. Now, in international relations, technology now transcends traditional boundaries, as we have seen in the last many years, influencing various sectors, be it health, be it energy, trade, and whatever affects our life and the nation. Now, a comprehensive approach to international technology engagement requires a streamlined framework that comprises the following aspects. First, fostering deep tech innovations. Second, promoting technology transfer and intellectual property rights. Third, addressing anti-dumping measures because there is a danger, because lower technologies could be dumped on the nation if they are not agile or even knowing what the technology they want. Encouraging FDIs, developing governance framework for data and disruptive technology, engaging the scientific diaspora, enhancing academic and workforce mobility. So you will see a dynamic 360-degree approach informed by domestic, international, and sectoral insights is required to adopt a comprehensive international technology engagement framework for India, and the vision should evolve with changing global context. It is changing very fast. You must have seen many changes in the last 1 week, all the announcements being made. It will impact all the nations. There is needless to say, we need to be very dynamic about it, and we need to be supported by a conceptual foundation. Now, the evolving strategic technology partnership with key countries, as was mentioned, we have India-US ISET, we have Quad, we have India-EU Trade and Technology Council, and more recently, India-UK Technology Security Initiative, TSI, and many such upcoming initiatives. And this is the result of vision to bring technology at the center stage of our international engagements. In all these things, various discussions are being held, and they are at different stages of our mutual understanding and mutual cooperation, how we should really proceed because these things are, they are in the developing phase. So it is essential to have a long-term vision facilitated by a roadmap and a practical toolkit to navigate critical, emerging and disruptive technologies effectively. So we need this toolkit and streamlined efforts across partnerships involving and workforce mobility, deep tech startups, technology transfer, economic trade relations, and very important, security. So synergistic effort among the stakeholders is essential, whatever I mentioned, in meaningful impact, to have a meaningful impact in international technology engagement. Now, against the backdrop of India's evolving technology partnerships with the global partners, I thought it may not be amiss if I mention some of the things which our office is doing in working with other ministries or other stakeholders, NSCS and so on. And so the Office of PSA, we spearheaded the Chief Science Advisor Roundtable, which was a new initiative conceptualized during G20 summit, G20 India's presidency within the Sherpa track. So this was the first time we initiated that, and we had 2 meetings, very, very successful meetings, because this forum has been missing from all multilateral engagements, be it OECD, be it any other forum. This was missing because science and technology has never taken a central stage in those engagements. So this brought out not some, but a great sense of partnership, and some of it is continuing, which I'll mention. And this enabled a global platform among the chief science advisors. All countries do not have chief science advisor or principal scientific advisors, but they have some equivalents. So the idea was to really take people who are really plugged into the government policy making, so that if there are any decision, they can be helpful in taking it forward. So we discussed common priorities. I thought I'll mention because they were important. Leveraging opportunities in One Health for better disease prevention, control and pandemic preparedness. As you know, we have launched a One Health mission, which looks at human health, animal health and environment in a holistic manner with 11 ministries involved, and it has been rolled out in the last few months. Second was the synergizing global efforts to expand access to scholarly scientific knowledge, becoming more and more challenge because the asymmetry in the knowledge sharing is increasing as we speak. And in that direction, one important effort of One Nation, One Subscription, again spearheaded by our office along with other ministries, we feel is a very positive step in that direction, where knowledge will be available to almost 1.8 crore people in India free of cost. Free for them, of course, it is taxpayers' money which will go, but it has been done as a consortium at a very, very competitive pricing. And this is a very, very important step which Honorable Prime Minister tweeted and many other leaders have hailed it. So this is a step in that direction for knowledge dissemination. And the third one, which remains ever important, and it cannot be sidelined in any event, is ensuring equity, diversity, inclusion and accessibility in science and technology ecosystem. We have to be very conscious that we take all stakeholders, all the diversity in our fold whenever we make this technology dialogue. So, so these have found their way in, not into our national science and technology agenda, but some of the key international engagements. For example, very recently, I think maybe 2 weeks back, or I forget, mixing the dates, within a month we had multilateral deliberations on One Health framework. because a lot of these agencies like FAO, UNEP, WHO, WOAH, they are all engaged with different states on some theme or the other, with lots and lots of gaps. So we have brought all of them together, and now we are making a framework and a dashboard where we can really synergize all these efforts with these international players. Enormous appetite to contribute, not only by these agencies, but enormous appetite by our states and the stakeholders to take benefit. So this is another very big technology getting into the society initiative. So I think I'll probably mention that this various efforts which have gone along with UNESCO recently. So what we did, since science roundtable thing was under G20, and Brazil did not have such a framework, so we joined with UNESCO to really have not only the G20 countries but many other countries, and we held a fostering open science, bridging knowledge asymmetry and building science advice capacity recently in Paris. Again, a big success and a huge enthusiasm to take it forward in the multilateral way along with all the international things. So I think I will close this to say that we need to build comprehensive partnerships with multinational corporations, our Indian industries, startups, private foundations, all are very, very critical. And these trade agreements must protect, needless to say, national interest while enabling technology-driven economic growth through market access and cutting-edge technology transfer and not the outdated technology transfer. So this can only happen if we have informed discussions such as today and tomorrow, and we need to provide operational tools which are easy to adopt international interventions, and we need to work with Indian missions abroad. We need to engage in a way that we can, this is really, MEA role is absolutely critical. I'm so glad that you are taking the lead in this. We need to really engage with our Indian missions abroad, and this will be very helpful. So in this, since our office believes in action, not only policy making, you must have realized by now that is only one part, but we need to see how do we drive these things. So we put miseries on ourselves by taking more and more responsibilities. That is name of the game. But we don't want to just leave it by giving headlines. We need to do something. So in that sense, our office has conceptualized a framework and produces country level as well as technology specific dossiers to map and understand the STI ecosystem of key partner countries. We did that recently for France, for Switzerland, and countries with which the dialogue is on. So this is a in-depth study by a group by our office, and we want to see that when we engage with them, we have a meaningful engagement rather than a generic engagement, because then both sides can gain meaningfully, and that is our goal. And these indicator-based dossiers, they help to provide information and highlight STI partnerships. So I will close. Thank you once again for coming together. Thank you MEA, thank you IISc for partnering with our office, and all of you who have spent who are investing very valuable time with us to really discuss this. And I hope that these discussions will help further and deepen the understanding of technology framework for international cooperation. So we hope that by tomorrow we will have a better understanding, and we come out with some white paper action plan where we can put a task for ourselves before we meet next year, Technology Dialogue 2026. So with this, let me thank and have a great time here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sood, for sharing us about the exciting initiatives that your office is taking and a thoughtful speech. Now we will be playing the recorded video speech of Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh.
Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India, Professor Ajay Sood, Director Indian Institute of Science, Professor Rangarajan, Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Secretaries, officers of the Government of India, Excellencies, diplomats from partner countries, friends from the industry, academia, think tanks, and media friends. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset I have to apologize you from the bottom of my heart for not being able to be physically present amongst you all, though I had very keenly looked forward to attend this event because I knew this would be a learning experience for me as well. But a sudden engagement over here is holding me back. Nevertheless, it's my proud privilege to be joining you, even though virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, science and technology, as you all know, is central to India's vision of becoming a global leader in innovation as envisaged by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, thus driving economic growth, ensuring national security, and also addressing the global challenges like climate change and health crisis. We as a nation are boosting our national R&D capacities and efforts towards technological innovation through initiatives like National Research Foundation, which has been appropriately named as Anusandhan, the National Quantum Mission, the India AI Mission, and the upcoming National Deep Tech Startup Policy, ensuring that India strengthens its technological competitiveness towards building a resilient product nation and a knowledge-driven economy. Honorable Prime Minister Modi has given a clarion call of making this decade a technology-driven decade, making it a tech decade or techade for India. And this vision of a decade underscores the critical importance of strategic international collaborations to position India as a global technology leader. And therefore, by partnering with like-minded nations and fostering synergies in critical and emerging technologies, we aim to address global challenges, while at the same time enhancing India's role in the global value chain. Emerging and frontier technologies like quantum computing, like artificial intelligence, like green hydrogen, like advanced semiconductors are all set to redefine the economic landscape. And India is poised to take the lead in these domains through targeted investments, through capacity building, and through fostering of the innovation ecosystems. The impetus given to achieve excellence in these technology domains comes from the highest level of the present leadership in India. And this is quite a reassuring thought, reassuring to all the stakeholders, domestic as well as international. India, you would appreciate, is also today playing a leadership role in various global initiatives and platforms on the frontier and emerging technologies. And a notable example of this being the co-chair of the Summit of Action on Artificial Intelligence organized by France in the month of February 2025. The United Nations has declared 2025 as the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, and India's numerous policy efforts towards developing quantum science and technology capacities resonate with this global agenda on this theme. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, as we advance, it is essential for us to integrate cross-sectoral synergies to ensure that breakthroughs in one field resonate across others, thus maximizing societal as well as economic impact. For instance, combining artificial intelligence with biotechnology or with quantum advancements, with secure communication systems can drive solutions that are scalable and at the same time sustainable. Also at the same time, we are working to strengthen technology governance frameworks, focusing on ethical artificial intelligence. May I repeat, ethical artificial intelligence, responsible quantum technology deployment, and a robust intellectual property protection mechanisms. And these frameworks are crucial for ensuring that innovation benefits society equitably. This is also reflected in India's recent leadership in multilateral fora such as G20 and also in a number of UN bodies. The inherently global nature of technology necessitates a continuous relook of national strategies and policies. Growing interconnectedness in science, technology, and innovation demands a robust global cooperation to remain competitive and drive mutual progress. India's International Technology Engagement Framework, that is ITEF, aims to provide the foundation for structural global partnerships, focusing on co-innovation, on shared R&D goals, and also on mutual capacity building. And through various multilateral, regional, and bilateral efforts, we are shaping the global norms and building trust for shared technological progress. Ladies and gentlemen, a clear differentiation between beneficial and harmful components of technology transfer is absolutely crucial. And addressing issues like technology dumping, like technology dependency, and stifling innovation will enable India to safeguard its interests and also promote equitable and sustainable development. Equitable partnership with our international partners at the same level on these terms would really enable us to leap in our objectives collectively. The government headed by Prime Minister Modi has made a special emphasis on building a robust talent pipeline, equipping India's youth with the skills and opportunities needed to thrive in frontier technologies. And this includes expanding international academy exchanges, skill development programs, and at the same time fostering entrepreneurship. Strengthening India's diplomatic network with specialized tech expertise is our priority. This would ensure expanding India's science diplomacy as well as technology diplomacy efforts, enabling the country to engage effectively with global stakeholders in co-developing solutions to pressing challenges. By embedding scientific advisors and technology experts in key missions abroad, we can enhance our ability to forge impactful partnerships and stay at the forefront of global technology governance. India today is one of the most favorite destinations in attracting foreign direct investments, the FDI, in research and innovation activities, especially in the area of frontier technology. And our vibrant startup ecosystem with more than 1 lakh startups and hundreds of unicorns, coupled with enabling policies and a strong institutional framework, has created an environment which is conducive to global R&D partnerships. The semiconductor mission, the quantum mission, the AI initiatives, these are all particularly attractive to global investors looking for collaborative opportunities in cutting-edge technologies. The growing role of India's technology and industry and its dynamic startup ecosystem in international technology engagements necessitates addressing cross-border challenges in areas like intellectual property rights, and therefore robust IPR frameworks are essential to foster innovation, to encourage R&D investments, and also to ensure equitable technology sharing. Strengthened IPR protections will not only boost investor confidence, but will also enhance India's technological competitiveness, securing its position as a key player in global market. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad to note that India's diaspora plays a pivotal role in shaping the country's international technology engagement by acting as ambassadors of Indian innovation, by fostering connections with global technology hubs, and also by contributing to the exchange of knowledge, skills, and resources. The strength of the Indian diaspora lies not only in its size, but also in its remarkable presence in academia, in research, in entrepreneurship, and in leadership roles in multinational corporations across the globe. And this diaspora network forms a vital bridge between India and the global scientific and technological community. Recognizing the immense potential of this resource, India aims to strategically leverage the expertise and influence of its diaspora to strengthen the international partnerships in technology. Ladies and gentlemen, Indian professionals excelling in the global technology landscape contribute to shaping of international perceptions about India's technological capabilities. I'm glad to know that many of these professionals hold leadership positions in major technology companies and research organizations, providing an avenue for India to engage in impactful collaboration. And by fostering an environment that encourages these professionals to contribute to India's growth, whether through investments or through mentoring or through startups or through sharing best practices, India strengthens its foothold in the global technology domain. Government initiatives such as the Vaishvik Bharti Vigyanik, the Vaibhav Summit, and the Overseas Citizen of India, OCI Scientist Scheme, reflect India's commitment to utilize the intellectual capital of its diaspora. These platforms facilitate dialogue and collaboration between Indian scientists abroad and the domestic stakeholders, driving innovation across diverse fields. India's technological journey is not just about achieving national progress, but also about contributing meaningfully to global advancements. Ladies and gentlemen, the country's International Technology Engagement Framework, the ITEF, provides a strong foundation for fostering partnerships that will drive co-innovation, shared research, and mutual capacity building. As India today is poised to position itself as a leader in frontier technologies such as artificial intelligence, such as quantum computing, such as green hydrogen, the focus would therefore remain on collaboration, on ethical governance, and on equitable sharing of technological benefits. With the strength of its talent, with the dynamism of its startup ecosystem, and the support of its global diaspora, India today is all set to lead the world into a future driven by sustainable and inclusive technology. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I have the courage and confidence to say that together with our international partners, we are ready to turn the vision of the decade into a reality, leveraging innovation to address global challenges, to create a brighter and a more prosperous future for all living on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. We now come to the end of this inaugural session, but don't go away yet. First, I need to thank, of course, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh for his speech, which is he has enthused us with his dynamic charge and sets a tone for today, rest of the day today and tomorrow in discussing technology. I also thank Professor Ajay Sood for sparing his time to be here, and Ambassador Pavan Kapoor for being here. We will hear from him shortly, and Dr Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw and Shri Raghuram, and of course our director, Professor Govindra Rangarajan. Thank you all for coming. Next, I call upon Dr. Shagun Basha. He has been the main coordinator of this event, along with Professor Abhinandanan, who is our chair for the policy research. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ananthasuresh. As he already introduced, my name is Chagun. I think many of you have been receiving continuous emails with me, so you can put the face to the name that you have been seeing. And I could see all my diplomatic colleagues and colleagues from Office of PSA and other ministries and agencies that are part of this conversation together in this room. It makes us feel very special. Without taking further ado, I'm saying all of this just because they are arranging this place, so I'm going to buy this time. So I'll take a moment to also introduce the flow, what is going to happen after this. Now, we have a special session for strategic and critical technology partnership, which would have a keynote by Ambassador Pavan Kapoor, who is the Deputy National Security Advisor of Government of India. And what we will do now is to actually have his keynote and then break for the tea. So then we will have the panel arranged in such a way that we could have a longer conversation. So now I request Ambassador Pavan Kapoor on stage to deliver his keynote on leveraging strategic and critical partnerships for India.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great privilege and an honor to be here at the Indian Institute of Science. Unlike Professor Sood, I can't claim to have been here earlier, but one is, of course, aware of the amazing achievements of the Institute and what it means for India's history, so it's a real honor to be here. I want to start, of course, by thanking Dr. Rangarajan, Professor Rangarajan, Director of the Institute, for inviting me and having and hosting the Technology Dialogue 2025, and of course, with the MEA. Professor Ajay Sood, of course, on whom we rely very much in the NSCS, all our engagements relating to technology, and of course, very privileged to also be in the company of Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, who's shown the way forward, maybe not left enough others to follow suit, but still shown the way of what can be done and achieved by industry in a very, very critical area for India. I also want to acknowledge my colleague Kumaran from the Ministry of External Affairs, the Diplomatic Corps, and I want to sort of greet all the distinguished scientists, researchers, and students, and everyone who's present here. And I assure you, I will not keep you for too long, so you will get your tea. I'll suffice with water for the moment. You heard Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw talk about the exhilarating stage that we are in, and I think I couldn't agree with her more. What I would say is, with that exhilaration, there is both interesting and dangerous times that we are in. We are entering, of course, a new phase of the fourth or even the fifth industrial revolution, where new technologies are redefining how we live and experience our lives. These same technologies, however, are also holding the immense potential to be deployed to exacerbate differences and place the economic, social, and national security of countries at risk. It is in this context of existing opportunities as well as risks that international collaboration is critical and emerging technologies hold greater significance. Such partnerships provide a useful platform for like-minded countries to not only develop and harness technologies for mutual benefit, but to also ensure that priorities, both in terms of economic and national security, are jointly addressed. India, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, has always stood for an open and inclusive global order. It is in the same spirit that we hold that democratizing both the development and deployment of critical and emerging technologies is the way forward for building bridges and making the world a safer and more prosperous place. Moreover, India has its own aspirations to develop as an important technology leader in the global landscape, and you heard the Hon'ble Minister refer to that. We've already made some headway in this direction through domestic policy measures, the National Quantum Mission, the National AI Mission, and new milestones being achieved by the Indian Space Research Organization, about which you will hear tomorrow, as well as Indian space startups in areas like the launch of spacecraft missions, space situational awareness, and spacecraft docking that we achieved very recently are just some such examples. India's own 5G stack, the DPI, the National Hydrogen Mission are also some of the many measures being implemented by the Government of India to build up our own domestic technological capabilities. To supplement these efforts, our domestic efforts further, we've now started building international partnerships, centered particularly on critical and emerging technologies, with a select few countries. The National Security Council Secretariat pioneered the first partnership in this direction with one of our strategic partners, the United States, in January 2023. You heard about this. This was under the leadership of the National Security Advisors of both countries, what is called the India-US Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, or IISet, which actually provided a major impetus to technology-centered cooperation between the two countries. The initial success stories of IISet, in fact, prompted the way for exploring similar partnerships with other countries. Accordingly, the Technology Security Initiative between India and the UK was launched in July 2024. But these two were NSCS-led initiatives. However, a similar technology initiative which you heard about referred to the India-EU Trade and Technology Council, or TTC, was established in May 2023 as a high-level strategic platform to enhance cooperation in strategic technologies, including digital governance, connectivities, and of course, green technologies. This, on the other hand, is led and chaired by the External Affairs Minister, the Commerce Industry Minister, and our Minister for Electronics and Information Technology from the Indian side, and the Executive Vice Presidents dealing with trade and digital affairs on the EU side. The reason I'm pointing this distinction out is not because it really matters where the initiative is taken from, but that everyone is focusing and geared in the same direction. So whether it's the NSCS, whether it's MEA, Ministry of Commerce, everyone is now working in this direction. And while I don't want to get into details of these three initiatives, the IISet, the TSI, and the TTC, most of which these details are available in the public domain, but I would like to take the opportunity to highlight some key and common aspects of these technology initiatives, as well as perspectives on how we can leverage them in the days to come. So I see three common and mutually reinforcing threads in the IISet, TSI, and TTC. Firstly, the Indian government looks at these initiatives to be essentially strategic in nature. We seek to forge a technology value chain partnership with our partner countries under each of them. We would like this technology value chain partnership to be secure, sustainable, and trusted, which not only leverages each other's strengths in the areas of critical emerging technologies, but also positions us as trusted technology partners in these potentially unique and futuristic engagements. The concomitant focus has thus been on access to technology, technology transfer arrangements, and addressing regulatory barriers for co-development and co-production of high technology products and services, all of which would of course have strategic and commercial spin-offs. Secondly, these three initiatives bring together stakeholders not only from government, but also, and I would say more importantly, from the industry and academia to forge these technology linkages. The collaboration envisaged under the priority areas, and you've heard this, the quantum, semiconductors, AI, space, critical minerals, and biotechnology, in each of these initiatives has been essentially flowing from aspirations of our industry and academia. The focus of the government's effort has been to provide greater exposure to the industry and academia, to the available market opportunities in partner countries, coupled with opportunities to identify specific technology and talent access that would help us to graduate from bilateral trade in such technologies to actual co-development and co-production of high-tech products, not only for our respective domestic markets, but also for the rest of the world. And thirdly, an important aspect that we have been trying to emphasize in these initiatives, which possibly differentiates them from technology collaborations of the past, is our focus on practical applications. The Government of India has been emphasizing on outcome-oriented collaborations and looking for actual co-development, co-production of high technology products and services that will not only serve to improve our technological capabilities per se, but also to improve the actual quality of such products and services for our industry and the public. Hence, the involvement of industry and their regular inputs and insights are essential to not only ensure the commercial applicability of the technologies, but also to make these technology partnerships practical, meaningful in improving economic efficiencies, product deliveries, and the overall standard of living of our people, as was brought out by the Minister. The fact that the Technology Dialogue is being hosted by the Indian Institute of Science, one of India's premier academic and research institutions, is not a coincidence. And I think the very fact that you move from the artificial arena to the real one is a very important factor. It certainly made a lot of difference for me to know that it was being held here, to make a special effort to come down. But I think the fact that we're having the Technology Dialogue here only seeks to highlight and emphasize the significant role that the academic and research community in India is playing to strengthen our technology partnerships with other like-minded countries. While it is important to have collaboration on foundational technologies, it is more often than not prioritized over technologies that have applied value. However, if technology partnerships like IISc, TSI and TTC have to be transformational in the way the Government of India is envisaging them to be, then there needs to be a good balance between foundational and translational research, with the balance perhaps tilted towards the latter. We would therefore require our academic community to work in close collaboration with the industry, both in India and our partner countries, to develop and produce products and services that are mutually beneficial. I would like to mention that partnerships in critical and emerging technologies are mostly long-term endeavors. A long-term vision, commitment, and efforts by diverse stakeholders for sustained collaboration are essential for achieving results, concrete results. We are thus yet to leverage the complete potential of each of the technology partnerships that we've put in place over the last 2 years and that we've referred to. Moreover, challenges both in terms of costs and regulatory barriers do exist for forging these technology linkages. In fact, addressing these challenges requires the active engagement of industry and academia in India and our partner countries, identification of specific barriers and financing requirements on a case-to-case basis, and then working with the governments to find workable solutions. So there we have the importance of the triumvirate again, the industry, academia, and the government. I should also, but I do believe I must say that all these challenges are certainly surmountable. We've seen some very significant changes that have taken place, and I think these are surmountable given the drive of the political leadership of India and our partner countries. I should also point out that the initial success of the IISc framework of cooperation is continuing to inspire other countries to forge similar forms of cooperation with India. You heard the Principal Scientific Advisor to refer to some, but I should also mention that, for instance, India and Germany signed the Innovation Technology Partnership Roadmap in October 2024, and this was in fact soon after the India-Singapore Agreement of September 2024, which was to explore cooperation in critical emerging technologies, including advanced manufacturing and semiconductors. Prior to that, we had also initiated a trilateral technology dialogue with the US and Republic of Korea on critical emerging technologies in March last year, as well as having a dialogue on these issues with Japan just in November 2004. I think the 21st century, in the 21st century, India offers great opportunities for absorption of new technologies and their application at scale to the world. It is now up to India, US, EU, UK, and indeed other like-minded countries, some of whom are present here today in the room, and we'll hear them in the panel to jointly find ways to harness these opportunities under the respective technology collaboration frameworks. This will enable us to build mutually beneficial linkages that would have both strategic and commercial spin-offs in the medium as well as the long term. The Government of India believes that our approach of developing national capacities will be strengthened by engaging with international partners and sharing of perspectives on managing and regulating critical and emerging technologies. I greatly look forward to the panel discussions today and tomorrow with experts in a wide range of areas, and thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Pavan Kapoor. For that tone-setting keynote, we certainly look forward to the panel discussion. But before that, we'll break for close to 35 minutes from now. And just across this room, we have a foyer where a high tea is arranged. Along with high tea, you also have opportunity to engage with all the senior colleagues, officials, and thought leaders who are present there, and the media colleagues who are looking forward to engaging with you about the theme of the conference and the summit. And we will do it in the foyer itself when people are around, yeah. So I'll request all of you to join in the foyer, and then we'll come back in 35 minutes before 4:45 p.m. Thank you. Okay, so what I would request all of you is to first get down of this building, and there is a J.N. Tata statue in front of this building where we could take a group photo that would take probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll get up to this foyer and join for the high tea. Yeah, and our colleagues and volunteers will guide you for both.